Oklahoma opened the door to private school funding. It cannot control which religions or communities walk through it. Private school expansion does not necessarily mean Christian school expansion. Oklahoma created a $275 million competition, not a protected fund for the institution's lawmakers expected to win. When Oklahoma lawmakers created the parental choice tax credit, many supporters spoke as though private school expansion and Christian school expansion meant the same thing. They do not. Oklahoma did not create a Christian school tax credit. It created a refundable tax credit for families using eligible accredited private schools. The same law that subsidizes tuition at Victory Christian School can subsidize tuition at an Islamic academy, a Jewish day school, a native language immersion academy, a Hispanic bilingual school, a Black-led college preparatory school, a secular STEM school, or a girls-only leadership academy. If those schools satisfy the program requirements, Oklahoma cannot exclude them because they are not the schools legislators had in mind. Attorney General Gentner Drummond warned about this principle during the legal battle over St. Isidore of Seville, the proposed Catholic virtual charter school. That case involved a charter school, not the parental choice tax credit. The legal distinction is important, but Drummond's underlying warning applies to both debates. Government cannot open a public benefit to one favored religion and then close the door when another religion arrives. Drummond successfully challenged St. Isidore. The Oklahoma Supreme Court concluded that a state-created public charter school must remain nonsectarian, and an evenly divided United States Supreme Court left that ruling in place. But the legislature had already opened a different door through the private school tax credit. That door remains open. Peace Academy in Tulsa is an accredited Islamic school. American Leadership Academy Islamic School operates in Tulsa and promotes Oklahoma's tax credit to families. Oklahoma Islamic Academy also advertises enrollment connected to tax credit eligibility. Tulsa is also home to the Flo and Morris Mizell Jewish Community Day School, which teaches Jewish values, Hebrew, and Judaic studies while welcoming families of different faiths. The point is not that any of these schools should be excluded. The point is exactly the opposite. Once Oklahoma subsidizes private religious education, it must administer that public benefit without treating Christianity as the preferred faith. Louisiana lawmakers confronted this reality in 2012. After the Islamic School of Greater New Orleans was approved to accept voucher students, a Republican legislator who had supported school choice objected to taxpayer money funding Islamic instruction. Texas recently faced lawsuits after officials attempted to exclude Islamic schools from its voucher program. Lawmakers often picture familiar Christian institutions until another religion asks for equal treatment. The program does more than help families pay tuition at private schools that already exist. It changes the economics of starting new schools. Tax credit-supported tuition can become a dependable revenue base around which an institution can plan. For the 2025 to 2026 school year, families at Victory Christian received approximately $8.54 million through 1,263 approved tax credit applications. That works out to an average approved credit of approximately $6,762. Victory's published annual tuition ranges from $9,300 to $10,200. The average approved credit was enough to cover approximately two-thirds to nearly three-quarters of the school's published tuition. That does not prove the credit supplies most of Victory's total operating budget, but it shows that, for the average approved application, the state now covers most of the tuition charge. Consider a new accredited private school charging about $7,500 per student. At an average credit of $7,000, 100 students could generate $700,000. 300 could generate $2.1 million. 500 could generate $3.5 million. 1,000 could generate $7 million in tax credit-supported tuition. A new school would still need accreditation, facilities, teachers, administrators, enrollment commitments, and sufficient cash to operate until payments arrive. But those barriers become considerably lower when the state can supply approximately $7,000 per student in recurring tuition revenue. Oklahoma's recent public school spending figure was approximately $11,630 per student. The private school credit ranges from $5,000 to $7,500 per student, about 43% to 64% of public school spending. Private schools are not required to provide everything public schools must provide. Public schools must accept every eligible student and provide a broad system that includes special education, public reporting, transportation in many circumstances, meal programs, counselors, testing, and extracurricular services. A private operator may be able to build a narrower school model around tuition much closer to the tax credit. Oklahoma's tribal nations are sophisticated and well organized. Many already operate education departments, child care centers, scholarship programs, language programs, and workforce development initiatives. They may possess land, facilities, access to financing, administrative organizations, and established relationships with families, advantages ordinary startup schools lack. A tribal nation or affiliated nonprofit could establish an accredited private academy built around tribal language, history, culture, environmental stewardship, agriculture, science and technology, career tech preparation, or tribal government. Imagine 5 tribally affiliated schools enrolling 500 students each. At an average credit of $7,000, those 2,500 students could generate approximately $17.5 million in tax credit-supported tuition. That money would come from the same capped fund serving Victory Christian, Bishop Kelly, Cassidy, Peace Academy, and every other participating school. A church, nonprofit, or group of educators could establish a Black-led college preparatory academy emphasizing literacy, history, mentoring, entrepreneurship, and college completion. A Hispanic organization could create a bilingual academy centered on Spanish-English fluency, family engagement, mathematics, and college or career tech preparation. These schools could be Christian, Muslim, affiliated with another religion, or secular. They could not lawfully exclude children because of race, but they could develop culturally focused curricula and missions while remaining open under applicable admissions laws. Private school expansion is not limited to religion or culture. Nothing in Oklahoma's tax credit law appears to require participating private schools to be coeducational. An accredited girls-only leadership or science and technology academy could potentially qualify. So could a boys-only military, vocational, or discipline-oriented academy, subject to accreditation and applicable civil rights requirements. Oklahoma is familiar with the single-sex model. Monte Casino in Tulsa operated historically as an all-girls Catholic school before becoming coeducational. Cassia Hall operated as an all-boys school before becoming coeducational in 1986. A modern organization could revisit those models with tax credit-supported tuition. The program gives first priority to families with federal adjusted gross income of $150,000 or less. But $150,000 is not an eligibility ceiling. Families earning more than $250,000 can still receive as much as $5,000 per child. The Tax Commission's August 2026 report showed that households earning more than $150,000 accounted for approximately $104 million, about 41% of approved dollars. They represented 18,661 approved students, or approximately 47% of all approved students. The previously reported 70% figure applies to approved dollars associated with households above $75,000, not above $150,000. That distinction matters. But $104 million remains an extraordinary subsidy for households earning above $150,000. There is no separate allocation for Christian schools, rural schools, schools already operating when the law passed, or schools serving particular communities. Each eligible student's application draws from the same statewide pool. Every new Islamic, Jewish, tribal, bilingual, culturally focused, single-sex, or secular school could reduce the money available for applicants at established Christian schools once demand reaches the cap. Lawmakers did not appropriate $275 million for Christian school expansion. They offered it to families using eligible private schools and supplied a powerful financial incentive for organizations to build more of them. Private school expansion does not mean Christian school expansion. It means market expansion, and markets attract new competitors. Before increasing the program again, legislators should answer several questions. Should families earning more than $150,000 continue receiving subsidies? What happens if first priority applications exceed the cap? How will taxpayers know whether new private schools improve outcomes? Are legislators prepared to treat every eligible religion and community equally? If not, did they support parental choice or only the choices they expected parents to make? Attorney General Drummond understood the constitutional trap. Once government opens a funding door to religion, it cannot reserve the entrance for the religion political leaders prefer. Oklahoma has opened that door. Now it must live with everyone legally entitled to walk through it. Oklahoma created a $275 million contest. It did not create a reservation for the institution's lawmakers expected to win. Follow the money at langdon.substack.com.